Hey there, buddy. What's that smell? It's Peteys Peds. Peteys Peds. Rock and roll!
Hello, YouTube. My name is Petey. Welcome to Peteys Peds. How the heck are you? I'm doing pretty good. My sleep schedule's inverted means I'm a little goofy. I'm a little punch drunk. I haven't been drinking that much. Now, I woke up at 4:30 yesterday, went to bed around, 2. Woke up at 4:30, and I've been up, coming up on 24 hours. I had a appointment to see my clinician, my doctor, and I had trigger point injections today, they're painful. I have herniated discs, so when you see me, oftentimes I'm reclining in this area. That's pretty much my gig, is laying down, and every once in a while I play a little guitar. Now, the idea behind Peteys Peds is I'm going to grab a pedal from my collection and talk about it, maybe demo it quickly. In the past, I've done some professional demo work working for Devi Ever and Vic Audio, another private guy named GDMC, and some other stuff. But here on this channel, it's basically my approach to music is to not spend a real lot of money. You won't find me hanging around at Sam Asher Guitar Center unless there's some way for me to get something free. I like Craigslist, I like eBay China, and I like building guitar pedals and Class D amplifiers that I power off lithium-ion batteries at the woods, because my wife and I have a duo. We make music together using drum loops with an MP3 player that I built through powered speaker cabinets using modeling effect multi-effectors, something like a Zoom B1, G1 that have the amp modeling and the speaker simulation built in. So we're able to, even though we live in an apartment and play with headphones, or we rehearse with a small monitor speaker to not bother the neighbors, we're able to go out and push air, as they say, and crank it up when the weather's nice. So that has been something that's kind of keep me from going off the rails since my injury, my back injury. So I got serious about learning how to build effect pedals in between 2006 and 2010, and I did a lot of that. So you're going to see some of those pedals in this, but you're also going to see a lot of store-bought pedals. And basically, I probably will do a little bit of demoing here and there. Today's episode, we're going to do the Klon Centaur, and I'm basically what I'm going to be playing through is I'll have to show you that later. It's just off camera. It's a toy. It's something called the Power Tour plastic guitar, and then they had a little plastic amp. And so it was a little tinny, so I put a sub, like a real crappy, like alarm clock speaker sub underneath that. And then I split it stereo coming out of the headphone jack and just run some cables into these things. And it sits next to me. So pretty much it's this is going to be a little longer one, the first one. This is the guitar I'm going to be using, unless I need a whammy. I'm probably just going to be using this. This is a Court 45 treble guitar that sits next to me. I write a lot of music on this. And it has something called Invader. Who makes those? Are those DiMarzio, or are they Seymour Duncan? I was talking about Super Distortion. I kept saying Seymour Duncan, Super Distortion. It's DiMarzio Super Distortion, right? Anyway, these are $10 for the set. I think maybe $14 for the set of them. Really cheap ceramic magnet pickups that I replaced because the original pickups failed. And this is the thing where it kind of brings me down and my videos get a little lengthy, because if I don't say that, someone will come in and go, I just love it when everyone goes and has to, replace their pickups thinking that they know better, when the original ones are probably awesome vintage wound pickups. Well, they weren't. they were horrible. The one didn't work when I got it, and the other one crapped out after playing it for 2 years because this thing came out of a dumpster. So again, if we're eating from a different table, like if you have a credit card, you have credit card debt, you go to Guitar Center constantly, you're always buying giant tube snacks, we're on a different thing. I don't play in a cover band, I don't play cover music, I write my own music. I'm 50 years old. I know the difference between a Strat and a Les Paul because I have both. I've got a collection of gear here. If I just show a little bit of stuff, I get somebody telling me, well, a Stratocaster has a bell-like tone. I was playing American Strat on stages, like, I was in a lot of bands. Okay. Now, I'm not bragging. I don't like to talk about all that. I'm not proud of anything that I did, except for really the work that I've done. My recording work and my work with the duo with my wife. And I make music with my children as well. And that's basic rock instrumental music. So I kind of don't fit in with the guitar players. And as you see, here I am telling you my life story. I'm telling you about where I'm coming from, because I don't... If you're one of those guys, you really don't belong here. And I'm not going to take kindly to your comments of kind of talking down to me, because I know. And I've played on like real stages with real PAs. You know, I played real equipment, but this is what I'm doing now. And I have tube amps. I have all kinds of equipment here that I can't use because we live in an apartment. So I've kind of been doing things a little differently. And this series, I'm not going to concentrate so much on the weirdness of what I do. I'm just going to approach each pedal and bring my little bit of knowledge to each pedal. And as far as the playing goes, it's going to be really limited. I'm more or less just going to be speaking on the pedal and give a real quick demo. How I'm going to do that was with this Squirt 45 guitar. Probably just going to keep it on. Maybe I'll do a little switching up with a pickup, because there's a big difference with the bass, especially if I'm demoing fuzz tones. I've got a lot of fuzz tones here. I've got some cool germanium ones, and I've got some original stuff. So you're going to want to hear that, and I'm going to want to use the neck pickup on that with the tone rolled off. I mean, not exclusively. I do both. So I'm going to be switching that up, but as far as the sound system, it's going to be my Zoom G1 on a custom patch that I made called Fender 24. And that is a noise suppressor. It's a Fender VibroChamp model. There's a tape echo, a spring reverb unit, and something called air that I shut off, which is like a real tight delay, the air effect. And I really love the way that sounds, but I don't want to color it too much. And I went and turned down the mix level and the dwell on the reverb, and the same thing, the mix and the feedback and the repeats on the delay. You can barely tell that that stuff is on compared to how I had it set. I had it set really thick and rich. Again, I play in a duo with my wife. I put together drum loops and add sound effects to that and try to master those so they sound really good. And then because we're both kind of limited in our playing, I have to, sometimes I pad it out. And because it's a duo, there isn't a second guitar, there isn't a vocalist, so I use a little bit of effect, you know, a little reverb and a little delay. And I like a little modulation on some patches too. So that's pretty much how I'm going to do this, is bringing pedals to the screen, talking about them, and maybe a quick little demo, but don't quote me on that. Now, as far as the number of pedals that I have no idea how many pedals I own. I'm guessing it's somewhere between 65 and 100. I know that on my pedal board, which is 3 boards that are double tiered, 2 of them are, there's 28. And then that goes into a machine, a computer that runs amplitude and some outboard rack gear, and then into a motorized meter digital Fostex board that goes into another set of rack equipment with a headphone amp and some EQs and stuff. So we're able to do a 4-piece band with my one daughter playing a keyboard, my other daughter playing guitar, my wife playing bass, and operating a drum machine. We've written around 110 pieces of original music for that project, which is a family band, and then the duo with just my wife and I, we have 40 new original songs. I released an album in February of this year, which is called Digitally Delayed. My wife played bass on those songs. Those are all songs that we had written for the duo. Last year I released an album. This is all on my YouTube channel for free, which is called Minor Technical Difficulties. That thing I played, she didn't play bass on it, I did all of that. And it's all done with modeling. I don't like any amps here because the cops will come. So that's me, that's my story. I'm sticking to it, as Dennis Miller used to say. I'm going to cut this one short and do this one will basically be the intro on it. So if people come in and go, well, I mic an amp. My Marshall is a tube amp and my Les Paul, and I could just kind of maybe send them the link to this video instead of getting upset and trying to explain to them that, you know, or if they make fun of me because I use battery amps, that they're 100-watt battery amps that you can't buy. I mean, I know what you can buy. You can get some 5-watt stuff that runs off AA's, but I've got a $500 e-bike battery that's 48 volts that does a pretty good job of on the 100-watt amps that we use. So there's been a lot of work put into what I do, especially considering my handicap, which is the fact that I only have 2 fingers because I'm missing the tops of these 2 fingers, and then I'm in chronic pain. So I look at this as when I come on my YouTube channel, I'm doing this for me. I'm not necessarily trying to get popular or impress anybody. It's just a record of what I do, and then more and more I find people are leaving kind of negative, mean-spirited comments or just misinformed, trying to tell me what a Strat sounds like. The guy told me today that I did a video on the Steinberger Spirit that I bought because of my back injury, and he said that it's a beginner's guitar. It's a $400. I'm like, you know, when I began, the first one came out of a dumpster, the second one came out of a garbage can, and the third one cost $15. So that, to me, when the neck is, you could bend the neck by fretting it, and it's changing a full half step. That's a beginner guitar. Peteys Peds is what I'm calling it. It's going to be really fun, and I'm going to learn some stuff here because I'm not just coming out and running my mouth. I'm going to do a little bit of research on each episode. So I'm going to shut this off and restart it. We're going to do the Klon episode, the Klon Centaur.
Hey there, buddy. What's that sound? Hey there, buddy. What's that smell? It's Peteys Peds. Peteys Peds.